Among language learners, it is very common to reach a level where you feel you don't advance as fast as you used to. This has a name. It's called the intermediate plateau level, and it's not exclusive to languages. It happens to most activities or skills that require long-term study and diligent hard work. But when it comes to languages, this is actually the moment where you can get rid of all your boring study resources and start enjoying the language. You can't go watch TV, films, read books, go tandem with a native speaker, go travel and see the world and start enjoying the experience. Or you can just stay home and play Pokémon. In this video, I'll show you how to blend two of your favorite hobbies and make it into what I call useful procrastination. I will show you the techniques I've been using during my adventure and why I think it can help you tremendously to improve your language skills. So let's get into it. As you should know, video games are a fantastic resource to learn languages from. They may not help you a lot with listening and speaking, but they are amazing at helping you refresh those structures and vocabulary you spend so much time interiorizing during your beginner phase. And turns out, Pokémon is especially good at that. First off, choose a Pokémon game you have already played or feel like you're revisiting again. It's very likely that you won't be able to follow everything you read, so it's very important that you already know the story. In my case, I chose Pokémon Emerald and I'm going to play it in German. I think you can say I'm very biased towards third generation. Pokémon is well known for not caring much about good writing. Characters tend to be very flat, or in general just very random. Reading what they say in your native language is not especially fun, but the very same text in the language you are learning has the opposite effect. Just understanding whatever nonsense they say makes you feel good. From my experience, I feel Pokémon offers the perfect combination of simple and advanced dialogue structures. You read from sentences like Mist, ich sollte mich nicht selbst überschätzen, to deep sentences like Mein Gesicht spiegelt sich im Wasser, ein schimmerndes Lächeln der Hoffnung, oder ist es der Ausdruck düsterer Stille, an dem die Angst nagt? Was siehst du in deinem Spiegelbild? Or even simpler sentences like The good thing is that you don't really need to understand and check all the words you read in order to enjoy the game. And most of the time, if they are important words, you will see them over and over again, allowing you to guess them by context, a very important skill any language learner should train. Let's look at an example. After winning this battle, this friendly lady says, a Pokémon battle is möglich. I don't know what möglich means, and in this case, because it's a battle and it's not really important, I can just skip it and move on. But I'm curious, let's see what it means, let's check it up in a dictionary. Given how Pokémon writing works, it probably means something like hard, exhausting, tough, so let's see. Let me show you a more useful example of my workflow. Here, I read through everything Troy has to say. Turns out I'm not familiar with most of the vocabulary he uses, but I'm able to guess it through context. Whenever I read a whole sentence I don't understand, this is what I do. First, I look up the words that are blocking me from guessing. Ah, cool. I think this sentence would be very useful to memorize since I see myself using these words in real life, so I decided to copy the sentence in my flashcards deck in order to practice it. If you don't know what flashcards are, it's basically a study method where you create a deck of cards with concepts you want to study. The good thing about using a program is that it organizes the cards and shows them to you based on how good you can remember them. I use ENG for my flashcards, and I strongly recommend you create your own deck for your language. It's been a game changer for me. Now, it's a matter of repeating this idea throughout all the texts you read. If you are like me and sometimes you feel like not putting the game down to translate, I recommend you do the following. Stop for a moment, close your eyes, and try to say what you just read in your own words.
At this stage, you are ready to go and you can already start enjoying your adventure. But it turns out, I came up with a technique that will revolutionize your learning even further. I saved this trick for the end of the video and it has proven extremely useful to me. But to explain it to you, first I need to explain what mnemonics are.
To put it simply, mnemonics is a technique that consists in creating mental associations with the information you are trying to memorize. This association can be absolutely anything that makes sense to you. It can be concepts, colors, images, sounds, or even past experiences or memories. I've been using mnemonics for a very long time in my studies, ever since school, and it's very likely that you did too. The stronger the association, the longer I remember the words. In German, the word for moon is Mond. To remember it, I imagine James Bond walking on the moon. And because he's a male, I also remember that the article is masculine, namely, der Mond. This makes a lot of sense to me, but it might not work to you. Everybody has different logic. One day, while scrolling through new attack moves to purchase, I found this one, Donner. Ah, interesting, I thought. I didn't know Pokémon can attack with Turkish food. Turns out that the word means thunder. And, well, now I made the connection that the electric type strongest move is an electric kebab. But wait, there's more. Moments ago, I mentioned something about a very useful technique that revolutionized my experience. Well, here it is. I named all the Pokémon I caught after a word I wanted to remember. And the trick here is that every single word had some sort of association with the Pokémon itself. It could be the type, the sprite, the Pokédex description, the location, anything, as long as it made sense to me. Here's a very simple example. I named Swallow after Vogel, which means bird in German. The little R in the beginning specifies the gender of a noun, a very tricky thing to remember in German, which you don't want to dwell yourself into. Seriously, you don't. I must say, putting the articles in front of all nouns was surprisingly effective. I used my friend Vogel since the beginning of my adventure, and just by seeing her name over and over again, now I can remember the words super clearly. My mom always said it was a waste of time that Pokémons were not named after important people, given we have to memorize all their names. Well, she was right. This naming technique works wonders, and I really encourage you to try it out by yourself. You will be pleasantly surprised.
Let me show you some of the name ideas I had.
Der Regen, the rain, because he changes depending on the weather. Verbrennen, to burn. He's a burning boy. Glaswasser, well, a glass of water, and I just could never remember the word order. And a glass of water. Glänzen, shiny, because he has diamonds. Verringern, decrease. Steigern, increase. Der Muskel, the muscle, because he's full of muscles. Kleberig, sticky, because he's a sticky thingy. Die Wolke, the cloud. A bird in a cloud. Streichen, to pet. Because who's a good boy? Huh? Who's a good... Das Ladegerät, phone charger, and he looks like a Pokemon that could charge my phone. Ärgern, annoying, self-explanatory. Rund, because he's round. Die Haut, the skin, because he has tough skin. Der Kiefer, the jaw, very strong jaw. Der Schädel, the skull, very strong skull. Die Größe, the size. Schweben, to float, to hover. Die Umarmung, the hug, because he can hug you many times and kill you. Anpassen, to adapt, because he changes types. And set.
Now that we have reading and vocabulary quite well covered, it's time to put it into a real scenario and practice it. And I think one of the best ways to do this is by practicing with native speakers or teachers. Especially in the current situation, one of the best ways to do so is by using iTALKI. Your conversations in iTALKI could go like this.
Hallo, wie geht's es dir?
Hey, mir geht es wunderbar, dankeschön. Ich habe tatsächlich viele neue Vokabeln gelernt, die ich mit dir üben möchte.
Klar, sehr gerne. Was möchtest du üben?
So. Willkommen im Pokémon Center. Wir heilen deine Pokémon und machen sie wieder fit.
Noch einmal?
Okay, wir benötigen deine Pokémon.
Was?
Ich nehme deine Pokémon für einen Moment in meinem Obhut.
Was ist los? Ich verstehe nicht, was ist...
Danke, deine Pokémon sind wieder topfit. Komm jederzeit wieder vorbei.
Das macht keinen Sinn, ich kann nicht dir helfen.
Ah, du siehst stark aus. Wie wär's mit einem Kampf? Ich würde nicht verloren. Los, Stola!
Hey, du bist verrückt, der Unterricht wird absagen.
Ach, meine erste Niederlage.
I know you are all craving to have such amazing conversations, so yeah, I left in my description below all the links you can use to get access to the iTalki app and start enjoying amazing vocabulary practice. That's the end of the video. All jokes aside, I think this is an amazing way to learn vocabulary and I really encourage you to try it out. So if you do try this, please leave a comment below and let me know how it went. I personally would love to be able to make these videos more often. The problem is to get this level of quality is a lot of work. At the rate I made this video, I'll probably be able to push a video every other month. Personally, I would love to be able to do this more often, and to achieve this, all I need is that you start sharing whatever I do. And if you felt this video was helpful and you want to see more content from me, please share it with those you think that would benefit from it. This really helps. If you want to support the channel further, I'll leave in the description below different ways you can give me support that would allow me to get rid of freelance work and focus exclusively on creating videos for the channel. I've got a couple video ideas I want to do in the future, but maybe there's something from me that you would like to see, so let me know down below. That's everything from my side. See you soon.